What's up, guys? Brand new episode of the Danny Beal Show out. Just had a great guest on with Kevin Youngs, CEO of Youngs Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. Talked a lot about his faith, of course, his family, who have been exponential in his growth with his company, and being able to talk about some baseball, some football stuff, his Mets and his Cowboys. But great conversation, man. He's the best. He's been so helpful in all of our lives with whether it's athletics or just being a great human and great man of God. But hope you guys enjoy this one, and go Pirates. Welcome back. Another episode of the Danny Beal Show. Had a great conversation with Carter Spivey last episode, and today we have another guy in the baseball realm. Not a player this time, though, but we have a very, very close friend of everybody that he's ever worked with, the nicest dude on the planet, the CEO of Youngs Physical Therapy and Sports Performance, healer of all ailments, Kevin Youngs. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How have you been?
I have been good.
Good.
Busy,
really good.
Wide open, that is for
yeah,
sure.
Busy is your middle name, dude.
But definitely doing well, and just thankful for the invitation to be a part of this.
It's been a long time coming.
With the likes of some incredible names. So, I mean, not quite sure why you asked me to be on here, but really looking forward to spending some time with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a long time coming. Like I said, it's been one of those things where for a while I've told you even in the fall that I wanted to have you on just because of your faith and how involved you've been in with not only baseball but ECU athletics as a whole. So it's going to be a good conversation. I'm looking forward to it. But first and foremost, how's the clinic doing? How's the family doing? How's everything been the last few months?
Yeah, absolutely. Clinic's definitely rolling. Very busy, a lot of different moving parts, and we're just so thankful for the team of people that we have. Pretty awesome that I get to work with my wife.
The best,
and so such a special opportunity. People have said, "How do you do that?" And I couldn't imagine doing it any other way
without her. Sure.
So Jennifer is incredible. But yeah, the team that we have on staff, and the culture that we have been able to create has been really special. Everybody within our organization has such a servant mindset and really cares about people. And I mean, that's a huge part of who we are and kind of how the organization has been able to grow. So thankful for that. And then, of course, the community too.
Yeah.
Have a lot of different community members coming through the office each day.
Sure.
You've seen many of them when you've been in there, and so thankful for this community and even in Moorhead City, the way our clinic has been growing down in Moorhead. The community has really gotten behind us. So very thankful.
You're a big part of it because, like I said, you're not just an ECU athletics guy. It's the entire Greenville community and everything about Pitt County as a whole. And it's funny you brought up your wife Jennifer, and I was scrolling through her Facebook just to like find funny pictures of you or like looking at anything. This was probably 2016 in the old office, which we'll get into later, but it was you, which you looked, I was like, whoa, crazy.
I look different.
Yeah, just like I was like, that's Kevin, really? That's crazy. And then it was probably a group of like 8 or 12 of you guys, but there were a couple faces I recognized. I'm like, that's cool that they've stuck around for almost 10 years now. But I feel like keeping that, like you said, the core group of people together. Yes. And me, Carter, and Trey got a chance to experience it as we were giving lessons, and Carter worked as a schedule there in the fall when we were here for training purposes and stuff. But it was very cool to be a part of it. It's a very exemplary place over there, obviously, but being able to keep that core group of people that you started with is very important, I can assume.
Yeah. Oh, it's tremendous. From Emily Dunn and Aaron Fuller, they started early on with us and just have grown within the organization to Emily being chief of HR and Aaron chief of operations. Just they know the clinic up, down, all around, and so that's been really cool. Just to be able to see them grow into those leadership positions.
No, been very cool and lucky to be a part of it for the few months that we were, but. You personally, at least recent, and I know Pirate fans are not going to stop thinking about it, not only for the next few months, but for the next few years, but you got to be a part of the Military Bowl clan that went up there that got to celebrate and win the game. But what was that experience like? We went there a couple years ago, didn't get to play because of COVID with the Boston College stuff, but you were a part of it with the training staff that went up there. What was that like?
Such a wonderful experience. To be able to be behind the scenes and see the staff work tirelessly, one, to be able to make the game go on, but then, from the athletic training staff, to be able to keep those guys going, to be able to perform at the level that they did leading up to the game as well as during the game is just tremendous. And just so thankful that I've had that opportunity and then to be able to travel up there with them and be a part of again, some of the behind the scenes. And then, of course, the sidelines. That was pretty special.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without you, in all seriousness. I mean, I'm biased just because of how I've seen you work the last few years with baseball specifically, but I feel like in ECU athletics as a whole, like we wouldn't be able to do what we do at the level that we do it at without you and the guys that you obviously bring along with you. And it's like, we'll get into it later, but it's an honor and a privilege, whatever. But going back to you and how this started, I'm curious because I don't remember who I was talking to a couple days ago when I said that I was going to record this, was like, I haven't heard a lot of these stories. So I'm curious because I'm going to hear a lot of the stuff about how everything started and the trials and tribulations of it all, I'm sure, for the first time on the podcast. So it's like you're going to get genuine reactions here. This isn't like a Spivey or Coach Goblin thing where I've heard this stuff 1,000 times. Yes. So I'm interested. But when you obviously graduated from East Carolina.
Yep.
But what was it like? Did you grow up here? Was it... Did you always know you were coming to East Carolina? What was starting the clinic like? Tell us all about that stuff.
Yeah. So did not grow up here. Came here for undergrad back in 1994.
It's not that long ago. Come on. Cut yourself some slack.
That's right. And had opportunity to go to multiple places, but ECU was just the right fit. Yeah. And definitely at the point of graduation, no doubt that I bleed purple and gold. Sure. And have done that since college. Actually was an elementary PE teacher prior to physical therapy. Not sure if everybody knows that. I taught.
Would not have guessed that.
Taught elementary PE at Eastern Elementary here in Greenville, and really cool to be able to see those students that I taught. Now I've seen them as patients, in the clinic, which is pretty cool. I taught for 4 years, and just going through the process and really trying to figure out what I was going to do and next steps. Really started thinking about other avenues, and one thing that really stood out was physical therapy, and started to do some shadowing, and really felt like that was a direction that I wanted to go. And again, applied to multiple schools and had the opportunity to go other directions, but it just was the right fit to be here at East Carolina. The professors there at the time were great mentors of mine, and also worked out really well because Jennifer was teaching. She and I were both married, so
there you go.
Yes, she put me through physical therapy school.
That's so weird. It's great though.
Yes, she had my back, which was awesome. And then upon graduation from ECU, the university or our PT department, they wanted to start up a PT clinic, mm-hmm. and where the faculty could come into, the focus was the faculty could come in periodically to treat patients, but then needed somebody to run the clinic full time. And so that's where I started my physical therapy career, and a few different spots within the ECU PT department for treating patients, and actually taught some at ECU.
There you go.
So taught spine as well as the upper extremity. And as I continued to
That was going to
treat,
be one of my questions.
developed just a passion for the upper extremity. Obviously, working with baseball, shoulder and elbow, huge passion of mine, and so that was wonderful. But then, there was just a push for even more, and I remember Jennifer and I having some conversations and discussions, and we had a wonderful dinner at Starlight Cafe, and that's when I told her, I said, you know what, I think we need to go out, take a leap of faith, and start up our own practice.
Now, and let me interrupt you for a second. Was that always something that in the back of your mind through school? Was that so? That was very spur of the moment. It was like, I have this calling. I feel like I need to do this. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah. That was not athletic and active population. Always been my passion.
Sure.
That's who I wanted to work with. But owning my own practice, not at all. But
it's crazy to look at where we are now.
As things kind of moved along, it was, as I said, a big leap. Because Jennifer, she wasn't working. She was staying at home with our boys, and Sai, our youngest, when we made the decision to even consider doing this, he was less than a year old.
So he grew up with that thing. He's grown up with this business. He's grown up with being around so many people, which is crazy to think about, because it's like you just said, with it being such a big moment decision, and looking back now, it's like it was no brainer the whole time, the way you've been able to build this thing.
Yes. As you look at it now, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a well-oiled machine.
But that was not the case in the midst of it.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because I've always thought, and this is not just you, it's in everybody that's in this profession as a whole, is it hard to determine what you're good at or what you want to pursue? Like, I feel like it's super hard to learn all of the stuff as a whole and then be like, all right, I'm good at this, or I'm passionate about this. And then, like you said, with the upper extremities, specifically with baseball players and shoulders and elbows and stuff, was it ever like, I'm good at this, but I want to do this? Is it always, I'm good at this, I want to do, what was that like?
No, it really comes down to a passion of taking care of people. Mm-hmm. And then just as I developed, more opportunities to work with the overhead athlete, I think, from a region of the body, that's where I went. But it really, more so the passion of taking care of people, allowing people to be able to compete at the highest level, or to get back to, whatever their activity was, to be able to compete. That's where the passion is.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know. It's always been, and I feel like everybody I've talked to that I've gotten the chance to work with or see work with teammates or friends, that it's always a different answer. And I'm always curious to hear those answers. But you mentioned again your wife and how she's a big part of the operation now, mm-hmm. and how you guys both started this together. But at the time of the initial grand opening, mm-hmm. How important and integral was she to everything? Because we know how she is now because she runs the ship over there. But I can assume back then that it was a joint effort. But what was starting it like? I imagine it was very daunting.
Oh, it was tremendous. And I remember the first day that we were in there. I remember my first patient. I can picture her.
Do you really?
Vivid. Oh, 100%.
Wow.
She actually still works in the Greenville area, but I will, obviously, because of HIPAA, I will not reveal that.
Yeah, exactly.
And seeing her grow up has been really awesome. But when we had that first patient on the schedule, Jennifer and I both looked at each other like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Yep.
And a couple more got on that day. I think we saw 3 patients that first day. And we just set a goal: as long as I see X number of patients, we are going to be fine. We're going to be able to keep lights on, food on the table. We're gonna be okay, and we're gonna be able to do things the way that we want to do it. We want to be able to provide a service that we feel like will really make a positive impact on this community. So that's the cool part, is that we really have been able to do it
your way,
the way that really our way, but it's more so the way that really God has called us to really grow and live out our mission.
No doubt. And I wanted to relate this a little bit because I felt like you were going to bring this aspect of it up, but especially with the way college athletics is, being able to do it your way with the ever changing aspect of what college athletics is, it's way easier said than done now. And to be able to do it your way for as long as you've been able to do it, it's admirable. And the fact that it, like I said, it's a well-oiled machine is impressive to say the least. But starting that up, what were the biggest challenges? I mean, you had a good group of people around you, like we mentioned before, but what were the biggest challenges? Was there ever a sense of doubt at any point after you began? What was that like?
It's a great question.
There could not be.
Well, there wasn't, in my mind, there was no doubt.
Sure. Because I'm sure, and I was going to bring this up as well, faith had to have been a big part in those first couple years or even first couple months of like, all right, one, did we make the right decision? Because I can only imagine how much prayer went into it and just like knowing and deciding, all right, hey, we're not looking back. We made the right decision. This is what we're going to do.
You talk about prayer, at that point we knew God. And I'll tell you why we even got closer to God in a second, but we weren't really strong in our faith at that point. Mm-hmm. But it was a knowing deep inside that we are going to make this happen and it's going to be successful. What success really looked like was a matter of me having a full schedule.
Yeah, no, literally. If I see them right,
that's what success was.
There's a quota. That's what you hit it. We're good.
Yes,
that's a success.
Because I know that we're going to be able, as I said, to be able to provide for our family, and we just kept. So we got that, and then we moved the needle a little bit, raised the bar, and continued to grow. And that's where I go back to the community. Community continued to support us. So if people needed to get in and wanted to come be a part of our organization and take advantage of our services, then we said yes. We were big yes people. You need to get in? Yep. Okay, we'll get you in.
So was it a few years in where you really started to get more involved in whether it was the church or your faith or even with your kids? What was the process of growing into it like? Because like you just said, it wasn't all right away. Yeah.
So I have. We have
I did it.
Our oldest son Davis, who is 17. After Davis in 2009, Jennifer was pregnant, 40 weeks pregnant. Went in for the 40-week checkup to see how our son Blaze was doing, and there was no heartbeat at that time. And so between that 39th and 40th week, Blaze had passed away, and obviously a huge impact on Jennifer and I. And we knew that we were going to go one of two ways. One, Blaze was going to bring us together, or two,
further apart,
divide us and go further apart. So we looked at each other and say, "Okay,
let's lean into it.
We're going to lean into it. You're my ride or die. We're gonna make this work." Actually, we just had this incredible talk last night with the boys, discussing some parts of this book called Experiencing God, which is a phenomenal book. I'm not through it yet, but it has been really powerful and impactful.
Hey, we're promoting that. We'll put the link in the bio for that for that book.
Really strong book. That got from our C12 chair, which I can touch on C12.
Absolutely,
But in this conversation we were having with the boys, Jennifer talked about, we were talking about experiencing God and how do you know you experience God? And again, not strong in our faith at that moment in time, but she said she was sitting on the couch, sitting on a bed, and heard a very clear, distinct voice that said, "Blaze is in heaven." So it's like, wow, Blaze is in heaven. That's real. We are going to heaven. Mm-hmm. We are going to be with our boy Blaze.
100%.
And so that is what truly has springboarded our faith is Blaze. And what Blaze, him passing away, the impact that he has had, one, our family, but two, this community, how we've been able to allow his name to continue to live out, has really been incredible. So the lives that Blaze has touched thus far without breathing a breath of air, in in this world has just been tremendous.
Hope you guys are enjoying the episode so far with Kevin Youngs, but this episode is brought to you by our friends over at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. and is the best place to watch your favorite sports while enjoying the best wings in town. They also offer sandwiches, appetizers, cold beer, and more. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Tiebreakers is in Greenville at Bell's Fork on Greenville Boulevard and in downtown Winterville on Railroad Street. Hope you guys enjoy. Yeah, and like you said, when stuff like that happens, like tragedies, like you just mentioned, it is you have two roads. You can either take the road of, all right, we're gonna shell up, we're not gonna kind of I feel like embrace isn't the right word, but like let it breathe, let the situation talk, and the other road is, hey, we're gonna lean into this, like we mentioned. We're gonna get more into our faith. We're gonna tell his story. We're gonna let people hear about it, learn from it, experience those kind of things. And I feel like looking back, obviously you decided to do the right thing, and be able to share that with your family is a pretty important moment in their lives, I'm sure.
Yes, and I mean, Blaze is a huge part of our life, and it's so interesting to see how conversations come up with all of our boys, with Davis having conversations, especially early on. And then as Jax, who was born just over a year after Blaze, conversations with him about, conversations with Jax about Blaze, and then Cy. Blaze has even brought our family closer together, which
without even breathing a breath on the earth, which is crazy to think about, because it's those things that bring guys closer together. But you mentioned C12, and I want to let you hit on that, because I feel like that's a very important thing to talk about. But what does that have to do with your family, specifically you as well?
Yes. So C12 is a Christian business CEO group where we have other business owners that sit at the table with us, and Robert Beeman and Mike Aman, both of them.
Shout out Mike Aman.
Right, yeah, that's right. Robert was our initial chair, and then Mike kind of took it on, and then and now Robert's back with us, and it's where our group sits at the table one day a month, and we go over a ministry segment, a business segment, and a devotional that really speaks to us as individuals, speaks to us as husband and wife, because Jennifer is actually a part of that. She sits at the table with us, but then how can we bring that information and impact our organization? So we joined in 2017, and which ironically was about 6 or 7 months after our current location in Greenville. So a lot of big things happened in 2017.
Yeah, no kidding.
But C12 has just really been instrumental to our growth, personally as well as professionally.
Yeah, and one of the questions I was going to ask, I feel like it's a good time to bring it up, but I had to ask about the principles that you have, not only within everybody that works there and they know them and can recite them, but even on the wall. Like, you have them out, and it's important to have those things in a successful organization. You talk about any successful businessman, or whether it's an athletic team or whatever it is, they always have a set of like principles, goals, standards that they have, and faith in God's one of them. But I feel like C12 is a big part of kind of growing into that, to relate faith and business.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're really big. C12 is really big on mission, vision, values. And when we first joined, we were like, okay, we've got it, but we don't need it.
Your
We're
head.
good. And then the more you're getting into it, no, that is the foundation of who we are as an organization. And our core values spell out great, and we're striving to be great, where G is God honoring and the golden rule, treating people the way that you want to be treated. R is relationships with each other, with the community, with our patients. E is excellence within our work. A is achieving goals, for whether it's personal goals, professional goals, patient goals, and T is teamwork. And that is the foundation of who we are. And we feel like, when you read those core values, it's speaking to you as a staff member, to you as a
different
patient.
aspects,
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. Everybody should be able to read that and say, hey, I'm going to strive to be great.
And you mentioned the people too, and one of the other things that I wanted to mention was how important it is to have people around you that not only make you better, but make the people around them better. And I think it goes without saying, obviously, yes, have people around you that make you better and all this stuff, but it really hits home when it's an organization that's centered around faith. And I think people that don't buy in or aren't fully, 2 feet into whatever they're doing, whether it's work, faith, family life, whatever it is, it can get weird at times, and it's not they don't fully embrace what they're doing and whatever it may be. But I feel like at your place, and it's the same thing with ECU baseball the last couple of years with what we've been able to do with FCA and the Bible studies and all the stuff we've been able to do. But there's full buy-in from everybody in there, without a shadow of a doubt. You walk in there, and it's like everybody knows what the standards are, everybody knows what it takes, and everybody knows that they're fully in.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And we don't mandate that every person comes in, has a strong faith.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But everybody knows where we come from, and that this is our foundation, and this is who we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. And it is, like I said, it's one of those things that people think go unsaid, but it's important to have people around you that think the same way and have the same like-mindedness of the direction you're taking everything. But one thing that I wanted to mention, because it's funny, because I've asked multiple business owners that I've had the chance to talk to since I graduated about jobs in the future or whatever it may be. But one of the questions I always ask is, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give to your former self when you were just starting? Now, looking back, what is one thing that you'd be like, hey, dude, by the way? And I put you on the spot. My bad.
Yeah, no, there's just so many great things, that I've definitely learned now compared. One thing that comes to mind is, really leaning on him more early on in the process.
Yeah.
And really bouncing those ideas versus my ideas versus, okay, what do you have intended for me, for my family, for my organization? How do you see that? Right. And so I think that's leaning on him more early on in the process versus I don't have to figure this out. I've got somebody who I can go to make that appropriate decision. So that's definitely one thing that comes to mind.
Because I always feel like like I said, everybody gives a different answer, and it's always interesting to hear whether it's because it could be good advice, as in like, hey, do this, or bad advice, as in, hey, don't do this, you'll regret it, kind of thing. And I think one of those things.
The other big part, and we've continued to do this, but is so essential, is just really surround yourself with great people who are going to contribute to an outstanding culture. Culture is everything. I mean, you think about ECU baseball and the culture that coaching staff has created is phenomenal. And if that culture wasn't in place, then the accolades
would not be there.
Would not even be close to where they are.
Be attainable, yeah, for sure. This episode is also brought to you by Farm Bureau. From his days as a Pitt County Bulldog to his years at ECU, Brandon Manning bleeds purple and gold in anything local sports. Brandon was born and raised in Pitt County, and now, as your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in Winterville, Brandon can take care of you and your family with auto, home, life, and health insurance by calling him at 252-531-1812. Thanks to Brandon Manning for his support of the show. Obviously, great person, great dude, does a great job in his job. So I hope you guys enjoy. Again, you can reach him at 252-531-1812 at Farm Bureau Insurance. How do you go about when someone wants to join your team? How do you go about picking people? Like, how do you determine whether they're fit for the job or fit the standards and values that you guys have? How do you go about choosing people that you're welcoming into your family?
Well, I think one big thing is we are very open about who we are.
Right.
And early on in the interview process, we encourage those individuals. They should be interviewing us as much as we are interviewing them. Mm-hmm. And they need to understand who we are, what is our foundation, what is truly our mission, vision, values, right. And do we have alignment? You don't have to be fully 100% bought in on every nook and cranny of that we do. But if you can truly get behind where we are going as an organization and the people and the culture that we have created, then there's a good chance that and you've got the credentials or
course,
the
course.
experience, then there's a good chance that we could have a great working relationship.
And that's and like it goes back to the people thing and how important everybody that from the top to the bottom. I mean, everybody's got to be pulling from the same rope, and it's one of the things that makes everybody that works with you great, and everybody that works with ECU athletics, and specifically, obviously, I'm biased, but baseball great too. But a couple years ago, you became, I don't really know how to phrase this, the head provider for ECU athletics.
So we became the official physical therapy
okay
provider for ECU athletics.
Yeah. What was the process of getting to that point like? Because obviously we've always worked with you, and every athletic team has sent people over to work with you just because you do such a good job. But what was getting to be the official, here's the name, here's the contract kind of thing? What was that like?
Well, and it's I'd been going over there since 2007, so a good number of years supporting them, and then as just as years went on, just gradually continued to just grow that relationship. So then it really came down to just formalizing that relationship a bit more. So it was one of those kind of understood things, but I think it definitely helped to let. The staff and the athletes knew that we were the ones supporting, but then it just allowed the community to know that we have the opportunity to provide these services towards these ECU athletes,
and have the coolest commercials in town too. The absolute coolest. I mean, I remember the times when we'd be in the dugout, just like talking about Lord knows what, but you'd be like, hey, you seen the new commercial? And I remember vividly it was 23 because it was the year after Spivey had such a great year. And it was the big one where it was like, all right, this is the first one where, hey, we're putting it up on the board. We got cool music behind it, crazy edits. And you're like, watch this. And I saw it. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I would love to take credit for that, but I cannot do that.
Yeah, people around you.
Yes,
that's all it
absolutely.
Is.
Jennifer, very instrumental. Like, I'll talk about some ideas, but how she can implement that vision is tremendous. And Chloe, who works with us, and on the marketing side, those two rocked it out.
Some really cool ones, I will admit. What is it like being? Because you get to be on like we were just talking about the military bowl. You get to be on the field. You get to interact with athletes in the game, and the amount of times that I can count on 10 hands how many times that you and I have been doing stuff pregame to get me to feel right. Or, I remember in the probably shouldn't. Now that I'm graduated, I can say whatever I want, but it doesn't matter. But I remember when this was the regional, I threw like 86 pitches after throwing 3 days in a row for.
Allegedly.
Yeah, 3 days in a row, threw 86 pitches, whatever. But I remember the conversation after when we were about to play Evansville that night. I looked at you and I was like, hey, like, I know that it's probably not a good idea, but I think I can pitch tonight. And Coach She said, if I feel good, I can. And you're like, all right, fine, let's do it. And literally from probably the fourth or fifth inning on till the ninth, we had tables set up in the bullpen, in the dugout, in the walkway, and in the training room of just places that we could go. It's like, hey, I need a quick stretch just to make it feel good. And it was like, drop of a hat, yes, sir, sounds good. And it was like, it is the willingness that you are able to give us, and always be positive. I've never heard you be like, yeah, it's probably not looking good today. It's always like, we'll figure it out. But how cool is the experience getting to work directly with the teams on the field and in the locker room?
That is tremendous. And, the hype that people have over that, like, man, that is so awesome to work in the dugout or on the field. That must be really awesome. And the answer is it is. It really is.
Not going to lie.
But to be able to have the relationships with the staff, the players, that really just is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
To be able to interact with them on a regular basis, but then also to help them be able to compete at the highest level, game in and game out. That is truly tremendous. And I just have a passion to help people achieve their goals and live their best life. That's a part of our mission statement.
That's right.
That's what we want to do. And if that means I need to treat you,
dude, the amount of times it's just like, Kevin,
inning after inning after inning, to allow you to get back out there, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and and at times you are the biggest cheerleader in the dugout too. You're not just sitting there like, spitting seeds and just like, talking whatever. It's like you are engaged in every pitch. Always like the second I came in the dugout, I'm sitting down. You're like, hey, how you doing? Feel good? Yeah. Okay. Good job. And it's like I said, always so positive. And not just myself, but with Trey and whoever else and all the guys. It's just we owe a lot to you for sure. But
two big people that were instrumental with me being able to do that more is Coach Godwin and Zach Womack. Mm-hmm. They, I think they saw that I had a passion. Of course, I just want to help serve the organization, help serve you guys. And Zach was like, yeah, you want to, I got another pair of hands to be able to help out, then come on, and love to have you. And Coach G, exactly the same.
And credit to them for letting, because as people may or may not know, Coach Godwin is very particular in who he lets in the program. Mm-hmm. Like, he is not just willy-nilly, hey, come talk to the guys. Like, if you are coming, he means a lot to you. So with you being able to do that, it shows a lot from his perspective that he trusts you. And Womack, too, having just the wherewithal to be like, drop his ego a little bit, be like, yeah, I'll let somebody else come in because I know he's going to do a good job and I know he's going to help me, and I don't have 900 guys coming to me at once. I have 2 people that we can split it up now at least. Mm-hmm.
And his mindset is, I want to do everything we can for these guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, Zach, he was over there,
yeah, dude.
6 a.m. to 11, 12 p.m. or midnight or whatever.
It's not for the faint of heart.
That was his mindset. And so if we have another opportunity to help these guys be better, then because I care about these guys.
This episode is also brought to you by Via Verde. Jay Bastardo is a great owner over there and has a couple restaurants in town with Bella Green and The Breakfast Place. Great owner. Helps us out with Pirate Radio and a bunch of other podcasts as well, but specifically my show. Jay's been great too. Myself and the baseball program over the last few years has a great relationship with Coach Godwin. Big supporter of ECU baseball and the podcast, of course, but shout out to him and all of his restaurants that he does a great job with. Go check out his food, his sports bar with Bella Green, the new place down the road. But hope you guys enjoy. Thanks, Jay, for sponsoring the episode. Yeah, and you mentioned Coach Godwin and how close you guys are, and there's a big friend group that you guys have, and it's the stories that we've heard and some that we couldn't hear till after graduation from Coach Godwin or whatever it may be. But you got a chance to go down on a little fishing trip.
Oh, wow.
A couple weeks ago with a few of those guys. What was that like?
That was a tremendous, tremendous trip. And it's interesting. Some of us have known each other for a fair amount of time, and then others just kind of knew, just kind of met them. Mm-hmm. We went last year, and then we went again this year. But it's the relationships that we formed in such a short amount of time was incredible. And that's just a testament to the guys that we had together. So yeah, we went sail fishing in Guatemala.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's pretty cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah, you got to go with Garrett Blackwelder and Chip Davis and those guys. So I'm sure it was Guatemala. Yeah, pretty cool. Sail fishing. Yeah, that's not bad. In Guatemala, yeah, even better. But
our boat lost the first day, but we won the second day.
That's all that matters.
I've got to make sure that those guys hear that we won the second day.
That's right. Well, again, back to the clinical aspect of it. How do you manage, especially after you got named the official physical therapy for ECU Athletics? What was it like being able to manage? Because I'm sure they integrate a little bit, but specifically with the clinic and then ECU Athletics, because you came up to Ward or whether it's Minji's with basketball, with football, with us at Clark LeClaire in baseball. What was being able to balance both like and manage it? Seamless.
You just get it done.
Yeah.
That's our mindset.
Turn your brain off and do it. Yep.
And so going over to help out, then we've got an incredible team in the office that are continuing to see people on a regular basis, and then some of those athletes would come into the office, and so I would lean on the team to be able to do it if I needed to be out of the office. Again, it goes back to culture, team, the people that you have on your bus is instrumental in order for something like that to be able to happen.
No doubt, and it's again. We've talked about it like 6 times already, but it's the people around you that make the train go.
100%.
It's one thing that you've been able to do a really good job of. But I wanted to hit on your boys before we get close to the end here. But they're the best, first and foremost. Like Cy always like running up to me after the games and just like literally just being like not wanting to talk about the game, not wanting to talk, just like whether it's Mets talk, whether it's, hey, how's your day? Hey, what you been up to? Like, hey, good job out there. It was never like, why'd you throw this in this count? And it's like the normal questions you get from like kids or parents after a game. But being able to be around those guys and seeing them at your place and just around the field has been such a breath of fresh air. But what is it like? It sounds like a weird question, but what is it like having great kids? Because they're awesome in the community. They all play baseball. They're all super athletic, and they're all just as nice as can be. What is good? First of all, good job raising them. You and Jennifer, shout out Jennifer. But like, what has it been like to be able to have those three?
They are, we talk about Team Youngs all the time and how we've got to take care of Team Youngs. And I mean, of course, when it's just the three boys, they're knuckleheads and they aggravate each other.
A lot of testosterone in that house.
But when they're out, they take care of each other. And again, with Faith being such a strong part in, at the age that they are now, 13, 14, 17, a big part of our discussion is just raising them to be good, godly men. And what does that mean? What are the principles that go behind it? And continuing to encourage that, us spending time together as a family, I think has really been tremendous to really allow them to be the boys that they are. Yeah, he's a chatter. Jax, he does not miss one pitch of any ECU baseball game, and if we have to be out of town, he is not happy.
Yeah, not a happy camper.
And Davis is like the balance right between the two.
Yeah,
like he's going to get up
so
and chat a bit
all the time.
Yes, exactly. But then he's gonna be there watching as well.
Yeah, it's the best. But one thing that I did want to hit on specifically with your boys were talking about God and their faith specifically, because I've been able to talk to a few of them about whether it's the last couple of years with the wristbands that we've gotten away with the Bible verses on them and all that good stuff. But what has their faith journey been like? Because you've been obviously an exponential and a huge part of it, but what has their journey been like in their walk and their faith? And were they always accepting to it? Were they always open to it? Was it something like, yeah, let's do it? Or was there a little pushback at the beginning?
No, they've always been accepted to it. And, having just great opportunities and experiences and surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals.
And I'm sure seeing God do his work too in real life situations is huge.
Well, and that takes us back to Blaze as well, right? And how Blaze, if we know that that's how we are going to see him again, then we might need to stay close to this God. Because I'm ready to spend some time with Blaze at some point. But and then, as I said, putting yourself around individuals who also have those
like-minded values, I'm sure.
Like-minded values. I was going to say philosophy, but yeah, like-minded values has been tremendous. And being active in the church type experiences, Young Life, Open Door has been incredible for the boys.
The man.
Yes, going to Young
Life,
Young Life camp, but also Open Door camp that they do in the summers. That has had a tremendous impact on our boys.
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely, and they're the best. And
Christian music, we listen to that. We rock out to that all the time in the car.
They love some Christian rap when they're working.
Brandon
out.
Lake is
great job doing some great work.
Solid guy.
Shifting gears. How about your Cowboys?
Okay, shift some more gears.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
Schottenheimer, what do you think?
Not fired up.
Really? Not even a little bit?
Man, Jerry Jones could have gone out and gotten anybody.
I think it's not as sexy as a job as it used to be, but you're still wearing the star on your helmet and on your chest. Like, that's got to mean
anybody.
Something.
He could have gotten anybody, but why? So why did he choose?
You think he settled?
I think that he wants to continue to be in control of that organization.
So you think he's lost his fastball a little bit? You think he wants a little bit of more control? Well, they just hired Eberflus as the DC too.
Yes,
that's absolutely awful. Yeah, but
you know that.
Yeah, but the good thing is, your Mets signed Juan Soto. That's pretty cool.
Yes, we are looking up and up.
Yeah.
This for the upcoming season. Super excited about that.
I did.
They re-signed Mania. I'm really.
Yeah. No,
I
Mania's
think
a stud.
he's got so much more left in the tank. I can't wait to see what he's able to do this year.
Yeah, and I will pat myself on the back because I've done this twice now with you and Clip Brock because Clip's a huge Commanders fan, and a couple weeks ago when I was at Tread, we did an interview, and he was like, this was before even the Bucks game, and he was like, what do you think? Like, how far are we going to go? And I'm like, you might make it to the NFC Championship game. I don't know if you'll win it, but I think you'll make it there. And lo and behold, they made it. And you probably don't remember.
No, I do remember.
I told Kevin, I'm like, listen, because this was coming down the stretch in December, and I'm like, I'm telling you, they make the playoffs, they're going to the championship. I don't know if they're going to win it, but they're going to make it there. And hot takes, hey, they work. They work over here. It is a take machine, but it's
self-proclaimed.
Yeah, as far as you know, it was a great season.
I love you,
It was
man.
a great season.
It was
fun to watch,
and oh man, my
first
boys
time in a
were
long time.
Totally locked into it. Jennifer and I, we actually went to the, what was it? The 2015 series.
Did you really?
When the Mets played the Royals.
That sucks.
That was.
I mean, it was fun, but did you go to the ones in Queens or did you go in Kansas City?
No, Queens.
Queens, yeah. I was about to say, it makes sense. You and Cy went on a little trip around the sun for his birthday. What was that? You got to go see. It was Norby and Miami went after he got traded. Burley and Gavin face each other.
Yes.
At a Sunday. It was at Busch, right? Busch Stadium.
Yes.
Yes. What was that experience like? I'm sure
that was incredible.
Up,
well, and to go back to what you were talking about, like boys and their faith. So each one of the boys, I took on a 13-year-old trip, and to really bring God into the equation and how, as boys are becoming men, how do we need to lean in on God to make sure that we're making appropriate decisions, and whether it's around people, social media, phones, all of that stuff. Those were some interesting talks that we had. But in order for them to become young, godly men, you got to have those. We can't let anybody else have that discussion with them.
Even if they are uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh, and it got interesting. There's no doubt about it.
Hey, that's the right age to do it.
That's for another podcast.
Not this one.
We can lead another one.
Spot on.
So Davis, I took on a trip to Dallas, and we went to a Cowboys game and did the whole, I guess it's AT&T Stadium experience. Yeah, we did that. Jax is a big hunter, and has developed a passion for hunting over the past couple of years. So we went to this place up in Virginia called Primland. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Did pheasant hunting, deer hunting.
Let's go, dude.
It was great.
I bet that was sweet.
Oh, it was incredible
experience,
which has
I'm
led
sure.
to us doing a lot more hunting as a family, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then Cy, that trip was incredible. And I had looked like 2 or 3 weeks before we were leaving, and I was like, man, it doesn't look like it's going to work out that Gavin is going to be pitching. Well, the timeline got shifted. He got moved up a day. So I
remember because you thought he was going to throw Monday. That's
yes, right. I got a text from Charlie Hodges and said, "Hey, I heard you're in St. Louis. Are you going to watch Gavin pitch against Burley tomorrow?" And I was like, "We're supposed to fly out tomorrow." So no,
somebody make a call.
So I said,
We
Jennifer,
are now.
I want to let you know we're staying another night.
We're extending it.
and we are going to get tickets, and we are going to watch Gavin face Burley.
I mean, that's a one of a kind. I don't know how many more, because one, it's interleague. Two, for it to line up perfectly on the same day where Burley's playing, because Sundays, you let your stars rest sometimes on Sundays. And for it to totally work out, that is probably one of the few, if not the only time that's going to happen. And the fact that you guys made it work. Shout out, Jennifer, for letting it happen.
It was incredible.
Hope you guys are enjoying it. But this episode's also brought to you by the 23 Club. Are you ready to support ECU baseball like never before? We are proud to partner with the 23 Club by Team Boneyard Collective, which is the exclusive NIL initiative and collective for ECU baseball. It is spearheaded by former Pirate players and led by Mike Harrington, graduated in 2004. But the 23 Club is your chance to help the next generation of Pirates succeed on and off the field. Join us as we empower student-athletes to excel while preserving ECU baseball's proud tradition of excellence and winning. Visit 23club.org to learn more and become part of the 23 Club today. Together, we're swinging for greatness. That's 23club.org. For players, by players, go Pirates. They're going to be doing lots of great stuff during the season in the spring with get-togethers, and Mike Harrington's done a great job and helped us out a lot with promoting it. So go support the initiative, donate, help the players out, and let's see some wins in the spring, huh?
Oh, it was so special. And then to be able to spend time with them after the game, Burley, he was so gracious and taking care of us when we were in St. Louis, and then Norby in Miami, because he hadn't been
Just
there
gotten
long.
there, yeah.
And so I reached out to him. We went down for BP before and just
so cool.
talking. And
I bet
I even
was
had, dude, I had this old picture on my phone from one of the conference tournaments down in Clearwater.
Sure.
And Cy was sitting right next to Norby. And they're both looking up,
No
smiling for the picture.
way.
So I
That's
showed
so
him
cool.
that. Well, then about an hour later, Norby, he goes back in the dugout into the locker room, and he sends me a text, and he said, "Hey, go let them know that you were with me. Talk to, I forget her name.
Yeah.
And then they'll give you some wristbands, and you'll be able to come back." And I was like,
No
okay. So I
way.
didn't know what that meant.
Yeah,
So
you
I
were
went and
just like,
showed one of the
Hey, this is what he
one of
said.
the attendants, and they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, well, that's legit. That's really from him. Okay, let me help you find this lady." So we were hanging out with all of the families after the game under the stadium,
Dude.
for both games.
Shout out Norby. Oh my goodness.
Connor was awesome.
Yeah,
he was so awesome. He made it such a. I mean, the 13-year-old trip. All three of them were special, right, in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
But then with Connor and Alec just doing what they did, it put it over the top.
Yeah,
It was
incredible.
great.
Ethan and Connor were on, probably a month ago, and we talked about it off air because we were just talking after the show had ended, and I was like, "How was that?" And he's like, "Dude, being able to see Cy's reaction to being able to experience all that stuff for 2 days, just like
Yes.
you can't replicate it."
And we
Very,
were
very
there
cool.
for Otani when he broke the record.
Yeah, when he had like 17 RBIs in that one game.
So
yeah.
we moved to the section that he hit a home run, waiting for the next one, and
course
then it
you
got
did.
hit back to center field because there was nobody in the stadium,
Yeah,
so
no,
you
it's
could go
empty.
sit wherever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's such
That was a
that's
tremendous
such a
experience.
Kevin Young's move. He's like, all right, let's move it. He hit one here last time. Let's go.
We were strategic. I was like, "Sal, you want to move?" Yes.
Yeah, whatever you think. All right, that's funny. All right, well, a couple quick. First thing that comes to your head. Ask you a question. First thing,
Oh, jeez.
and there are a couple of these you might have to think a little bit, but
Okay.
first thing that comes to your head. What is the favorite team that you've ever been a part of? So whether it's football, baseball, the entirety of a season when you actually get to work with us, what is the most fun, enjoyable team to have been around, whether it's result based or just the people in the locker room?
Oh, I mean, but specific to ECU baseball.
Whether it's you could choose. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if you choose football, but ECU football or
I
ECU
got
baseball,
you.
and you could pick a year.
I tell you what,
whatever you
no,
like.
it was. Oh gosh, I can't remember the year. I should know the year, but I can't. But when I went down for the Tampa or USF series, then stayed for Clearwater. So I got there right at the end.
23, the year we lost the first game and then went all the way back on Sunday.
No, not
what
that
year?
one. When Gavin,
Had his stuff.
yeah, and had to
21.
That was 21.
That was my
Yes,
freshman year. We
and
played
then we
Vandy that
went,
year.
and then we went to Vandy.
That
Like
year.
that run was
Spectacular.
tremendous. And
Yeah.
gosh, the
We didn't
way
even
that-
win in Clearwater, and it was still a blast.
Yes,
Yeah, that was the 4-game weekend year. Yeah, that was a tough.
that was a lot of work.
Yeah, well, that was. I mean,
worked
that
a
was,
lot.
That, yeah, no kidding. Especially with Gavin, fragile body. But I mean, we had
Zach
Gavin.
and I were
Oh my gosh.
putting pieces together.
Yeah, no, literally, it was. Shout out to you guys again.
But then
it's
that
not even just
run
us.
into to go to Nashville,
with Norby and Franny, and
Which, by the
Gavin
way-
and Carson.
Cy, my youngest, after that series, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to go play baseball for Vandy." That
Cy,
his tune
come
has
on, man.
changed.
Like,
Dude, he
geez.
loved it there.
I'm sure- yeah, I remember
he
us-
loves country music, so he was
yeah,
like,
he
"Man, I
brought you,
could
like-
have baseball and country music all together."
in Nashville. Yeah, you probably saw Kumar Rocker and Jack Lang. He's like, I'll be them. It's not even a big deal. Fine, whatever. Cy's the best, man. This is a good one. I've gotten a lot of great answers from this and a lot of emotional answers as well. But what's one piece of memorabilia that you show off? So someone comes into the clinic, someone comes to your house, and you're like, dude, you got to see this. And again, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Well,
but
we've got.
all those jerseys.
I was
going to
say we've got the cool jerseys.
Yeah.
The one that's kind of unique is the symbol for Parmalee.
Mhm.
That one's pretty cool.
I saw that one,
Had
yeah.
the opportunity to work with him with Scott after his shooting
way.
that happened. Yes.
Very cool. I didn't know that.
Before they had really gotten big. And then they were back in town when they came and played during homecoming. And so needed to get a little work done. So he came in, and then I was like, you know what'd be awesome, Scott? Is
if you could like give me something.
if we had something up on the wall. And he was like, I got you.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that was just, you would think it would be sports type stuff, but that's pretty special.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially with how avid country music is down here, for sure, no doubt. All right, next one. What is the favorite game you've ever been? And it could be ball games. Again, it could be regional games. It could be Clearwater when it's 9,000 degrees and we come back. Like, you've been a part of some great memories here. And I'm curious because there's one that normally sticks out. Like, for example,
Texas, Virginia.
See, that's what I'm saying. You could do Texas, Virginia. You could do Vanderbilt. You could do the Coastal game on Monday when Spivey came back. You could do even the Wake game this year. Like, there's so many that you could choose from. And it's not that's just baseball. Not to mention the bowl games.
When I was in college, we played NC State in Charlotte. I think that's right. And Scott Harley just ran like 12,000 yards of rushing that game. That was a fun game. I mean, we were in nosebleeds, cold, rainy,
wind blowing in your face, I'm sure.
And so also for football, when we won the conference championship here at home, beat Houston, that was a pretty special.
Yeah, that was cool. Because that was in the middle of the 20-game win streak too. Are you talking about football?
Football. That was that was football.
That's still very cool too.
I mean, this is very baseball focused, but I'm trying to.
I know. Got to give him some love. I get it. All right. Is there any moments over time in your clinic or while working with ECU that has made you emotional, whether it's been success stories, whether it's been wins, losses? Has there ever been a moment where you're like, all right, now I'm starting to tear up a little bit?
Actually, one moment happened this morning. So I was working out in the office, and Garrett Blackwelder, he came in, and he was working out. And getting his workout in as well. And then he just came up to me. And, of course, my mind is going all different directions. Like, I'm trying to push to work out.
Sure.
And he just said, Kevin, stop. I was like, Garrett, come on, I got to work out. And he was like, no, stop. Look around. Like, look at what has happened over these last 12 years. And that is a huge testament to you and Jennifer and what you guys have created and done here with this organization. So I mean that really, I needed it right at that moment. And so totally appreciated it. And that's where just having good people around you.
Hey, we might as well just title the podcast that at this point. I mean, we've talked about it so much.
And great friends, people that are close to you, really got your back. That was tremendous.
Yeah, that is very cool. And that's one of those things where it's stop and smell the roses a little bit. Because like you said, I mean, it's been go for a while now. And to be able to have someone kind of stop you in your tracks and be like, dude, what you're doing, whether you realize it or not, is really cool. And to have it be him, like you just said, I mean, off a fishing trip a little bit, it's special stuff. So,
yeah, that was cool. I mean, there's been many others too. It's cool to be able to pray with staff, pray with patients, help them through the tough times. That's something that definitely passionate about doing. So those have also been pretty tremendous.
Very cool. Yeah. All right. Well, that about wraps it up. Is there anything that you want to get out there besides, obviously, Young Sports Performance Physical Therapy, the best? Absolutely go over there. If you have anything that you need to get done, work done, that's your guy. Best in town. But thanks for coming on the show. Is there anything that you want to get out there or anything like that?
Thanks for having me. So fired up for you and the things that you are doing. And
appreciate that.
Just the type of person you are, the man that you have become has been incredible, and you've had a lot of people that have helped you along the way, and which has been really cool to see in your growth and development, not just baseball wise, but personally. So very proud of you, and just I continue to encourage you to push forward, and just continue to be a strong man.
Well, whether you want to, I say this to Webb all the time, and he's always like, no. He does the same thing to Carter. You have been a very big part of me growing as a player, as a person, and my faith, all of it. So you are a big part of it, and that's, again, part of the reason why I want to have you around, because you're the best. So I appreciate it, Kevin. But thanks for being so gracious with your time, dude. We had a great conversation.
Absolutely. Great time.
Yep. All right. Appreciate it, Kev. All right. That was Kevin Youngs. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Great conversation again, man. He's got a lot of stories to tell, but a great story of his upbringing and being able to be an ECU grad and still live here and work here. And his wife, Jennifer, and his kids are the absolute best. So hope you guys enjoyed. Be on the lookout for the next episode coming up soon. But go Pirates, and thanks for watching.
Come